Hey, what's up guys? It's your attention-seeking boy Phantom Coasters, back at it again with some more super edgy and cool thoughts. Let's talk GCI. They've been kinda crazy lately. It started in IAPA of some year, I don't know, maybe like 2018, when they revealed a more extreme version of the GCIs we know now. It had the same turns and airtime hills we love from GCI, but with new trains that they dubbed Infinity Flyers. These new trains were able to perform more intense elements, tighter turns, and even inversions. The model caught the attention of many Cedar Point fanboys who instantly decided that their park really needed this ride. To be fair though, it did look really good. After Infinity Flyers were announced, we saw nothing come out of them. They still kinda just sit as a thought at the moment, although that may be changing, but we'll get to that in a bit. Anyway, at the next year's IAPA, GCI was back at it again. This time they revealed their secret weapon to combat RMC's monopoly over the hybrid-ish coaster market. This new track didn't need welding, which I guess makes it cool or something. As soon as this track was revealed, Cedar Point fanboys began speculation on which part of their beloved park should get the prototype, could actually be awful, track. However, with GCI stating that the track wasn't completely ready to be used yet, there were many unanswered questions. Would this be used on ground-up coasters, or simply to convert coasters the way that RMC has done so many times? Will the track use Infinity Flyers, or some other train? These questions still remain unanswered. We really don't know much about this track, except what was done with it in 2020. For a couple weeks, White Lightning at one of the fun spots in Florida, how am I supposed to know which one, was closed. Speculation ran wild. Is it being moved to Cedar Point? Spoiler, it didn't get moved to Cedar Point. Instead, we saw GCI's new steel track on site. This sparked new rumors with people wondering if the whole ride would be retracked. The answer is no, it was actually just a really small portion. With this piece of steel track that's not very long, White Lightning became the first hybrid coaster, at least to some people. The hybrid coaster term is mostly used to describe a coaster with wooden or steel supports, and the opposite of that with track. However, a wooden coaster with steel supports just rides like a wooden coaster, and a steel coaster with wooden supports just rides like a steel coaster. So are they really hybrids? That's the argument made for White Lightning being the first hybrid, and honestly, I kinda see it. But anyway, I'll stop the opinions there, I may have been getting too edgy. It wasn't surprising to see the steel track on White Lightning rather than a different GCI, as FunSpot has been known in the past for letting GCI test stuff on their Woody. White Lightning even tested with Infinity Flyers at one point, I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me on that unless there's footage of it playing right now. It was interesting though, because this time the coaster was actually going to open to the public with this track, so we could get a feel for it, instead of just getting to see it like with Infinity Flyers. After a lot of testing, White Lightning reopened. With the reviews that I've seen, it seems that the steel track is a success, with some even saying it's the smoothest track they've ever ridden. With the steel track officially proven to be a success on a small scale, it was time to go broader. Six Flags Darien Lake has an infamous roller coaster known as Predator, a Din Woody. It's been rumored for a while that this coaster gets RMC'd, but Six Flags had different plans. After seeing how well GCI's steel track went over, they wanted some of their own on Predator. When we learned of this, we also learned what the steel track is called: Titan Track. It's unknown what it will look like on Predator. It could be RMC style, with a complete layout overhaul, or it could be more like an average retrack, except with steel track instead of wood. One thing we can almost be sure of though, is that Predator will be a recipient of Infinity Flyers. It just doesn't make sense to keep old PTC trains running on steel track. Moving on from Predator, where else could we see Titan Track appear in the future? This is an interesting topic because I feel this track, in some cases, could be much more openly accepted compared to RMC. This is because even if it isn't the case on everything, GCI probably wouldn't mind doing just a retracking rather than a layout switch. A prime candidate for this track is one that I probably have a bit of bias for as it's at my home park, but this is the Boss. While the Boss is a fine ride as it stands, it's definitely very rough around the edges. A GCI retrack could do wonders for the smoothness, rewritability, and overall public enjoyment of the Boss. Other candidates are pretty much any previously RMC candidate. To name a few popular choices, Wildcat at Lake Compounds, Wildcat at Hershey Park, and Grizzly at California's Great America. Aside from just conversions though, it is possible that we could see ground-up Titan track coasters going to parks. What's crazy is that GCI even advertises these as being able to incorporate launches, which, if this can be done reliably, could be huge for parks. Overall, I think GCI is on a roll. They've successfully rolled out 2 new concepts in a span of just 2 or 3 years, and it appears that these concepts are already catching on. Sorry that I only got to share one edgy opinion, but sometimes that's just how it be. If you enjoyed, I guess you could subscribe if you want, and like the video if you think the YouTube algorithm should favor me, but if not, that's cool too. I love you guys, bye bye.